Chronic low-grade social anxiety does not stay in the mind. It migrates into the body's hormonal architecture, and from there, directly into the biological decisions a plant makes about whether to fruit or to abort. Most allotment holders assume their harvests are determined by soil, pH, rainfall, and the timing of their plantings. That assumption is incomplete. There is a third variable operating beneath all of it, one that modern horticulture almost never addresses. It is the chronic psychological state of the person tending the plot. The human body under sustained social stress produces elevated cortisol. That is well documented. What is less discussed is what cortisol does to the hands that then press seeds into compost, water seedlings at dawn, and thin out brassica rows in the cold. It disrupts sleep architecture. It shortens attention spans during critical intervention windows. It suppresses the immune system of the grower, meaning illness pulls them away from the plot at precisely the wrong moments in the growing season. None of this is metaphorical. These are measurable biological cascades. The allotment committee exists in most cases to maintain order on a shared piece of land. That function is legitimate. The rules governing plot maintenance, water usage, and communal paths serve a genuine collective purpose. This is not an argument against governance, but the social architecture of the allotment committee, in practice, frequently produces something else entirely. It produces a form of chronic, low-intensity social monitoring. The sense that one's plot is perpetually being assessed, that the boundary between the beds and the path is being judged, that the height of the grass verge is being quietly noted. This is not paranoia. Research into social evaluation threat, the documented psychological stress of being watched and assessed by peers, shows it triggers the same hormonal response as acute physical danger. The body cannot distinguish between a predator and a disapproving neighbour with a clipboard. It mounts the same cortisol response to both. For a person spending 10 or 12 hours a week on an allotment plot, that low-grade threat state accumulates. It does not reset between visits. It becomes background noise. Skilled growing is, at its core, a practice of precise observation over time. It requires the grower to notice the early yellowing of a lower leaf, the subtle collapse of a stem before visible rot sets in, the precise moment when a slug population has reached intervention threshold. These are fine-grained perceptual tasks. They require attentional calm. Chronic stress systematically degrades exactly this capacity. It narrows attention. It biases perception towards threat detection and away from the quiet patient noticing that good cultivation demands. A grower operating under sustained social anxiety is observing their plot through a narrowed cognitive aperture. They are looking without seeing. The plants respond to this, not because they perceive the grower's mental state directly, but because the observable symptoms of stress, overwatering driven by compulsive activity, irregular visit patterns, rush thinning, missed early signs of pest pressure, translate directly into compromised plant health. The anxiety does not rot the harvest mystically. It rots the harvest through the specific, physical decisions it produces. There is one further mechanism that deserves attention. Stress growers work the soil differently. Under acute or chronic anxiety, humans tend toward compulsive repetitive actions. On a plot, this manifests as over-digging, excessive hoeing, and repeated disturbance of beds that would benefit from stillness. Modern soil science is unambiguous on this point. Frequent mechanical disturbance destroys the mycelial networks that connect plant root systems to the broader soil matrix. It breaks up the fungal threads that transfer phosphorus, nitrogen signals, and water to root zones with a precision no synthetic feed can replicate. Every unnecessary pass of a hoe through anxious energy is a structural demolition event at a microscopic scale. The soil does not recover from this quickly. Mycelial networks rebuild over weeks and months, not hours. A season of anxiety driven over cultivation leaves a soil matrix that is structurally degraded, biologically impoverished, and less capable of supporting the crops the grower is working so hard to produce. The common enemy here is not another plot holder, or a committee secretary, or a passive-aggressive note left on a shed door. The common enemy is the hormonal system that evolved to protect humans from short-term physical danger, now being triggered chronically by a social environment it was never designed to process. For most of the human agricultural history, the person tending the land owned no external governance relationship with it beyond weather, season, and community survival. The social pressures they experienced were immediate and resolved quickly. Modern allotment anxiety is structurally different. It is chronic, unresolvable, and socially mediated. The nervous system did not evolve for this specific combination. It evolved for short bursts of high threat followed by resolution and calm. Persistent, low-level social evaluation pressure with no clear resolution mechanism keeps the cortisol system partially activated almost indefinitely. This is the evolutionary mismatch at the center of the allotment committee anxiety problem. The governance structure is modern. The body running it is ancient. Sustained social anxiety degrades harvest outcomes through measurable biological and behavioral pathways, not through mysticism, but through disrupted observation, compulsive soil disturbance, and irregular cultivation patterns. The soil matrix pays the price of a nervous system that cannot distinguish a disapproving glance from a physical threat. Recognizing this mechanism is the first act of practical resistance against it. So over to you. What is the pettiest conflict your allotment has ever caused with another person in your life? A neighbour, a partner, a committee member? And looking back now, were you actually in the right? Tell us the whole embarrassing story in the comments. Your plot is a volatile battleground of ancient biology, endless microscopic wars, and hidden human nature. To ensure you never look at your beds the same way again, subscribe to Grow a Lot Studio.